All right, welcome to Pump Fake Pod for January 4th, picks and previews episode. Rolling solo tonight. We've got some technical difficulties and some other sick guys on the crew, so they will probably be back tomorrow or the next day, whatever. But we will get this rolling here quick. Currently sweating out Fresno under 60.5 total points and Cal plus 8 and the money line there on that one. USC's up 11, kind of surprisingly, but Cal's closing this one in, so we'll see how they can finish today. First game that we're going to be going over: Cleveland State at Wright State. Wright State is laying 5.5. The total is 164.5 in this one. I kind of lean Wright State in this one. Their defense is pretty disgusting, but they're finally at home. Their first two conference games were on the road at Green Bay, which they lost by 11, and then Milwaukee they lost by 8. Let's see. And then Cleveland State, on the other hand, they're playing great basketball lately. They beat IUPUI, Oakland, Bradley, Western Michigan in their last 4. 2 of those at home, 2 of those on the road. Cleveland State does pretty damn good at defending the 3 ball and shooting the 3. Inside the arc, they're not too talented. They're allowing 45% of 55% of teams' points from coming to inside the arc. They're only shooting 45.6% inside of the arc also by themselves, and 66% free throw. I think in a close conference game, that free throw is really going to come back to haunt you. Wright State, their defense is not tremendous at all. It's one of the worst in the country, arguably. But they can score the ball and they can shoot free throws. I think in conference play, it's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be close. I think late. It's gonna be who can make the free throws, who can make their shots, and I have more faith in Wright State doing that. It is very tempting to take the 5.5, kind of a back and forth, but I think this is a good spot for Wright State to get right at home after the 2 losses. And Green Bay is turning out to be a little bit better of a team than I think people are thinking. So that's something to watch out for. Milwaukee, they've just, after that Chattanooga game, they've kind of just been doing their thing. Won by 3 against Robert Morris, who Green Bay also beat. And then Wright State, they beat them by, was it 8 points, but that was at home. So I think Wright State will probably get this done at home. Might go down maybe, but I think this is a good spot for Wright State to get home finally in conference play and get a W. All right, let me go back to the next game here. It's going to be Charleston, or College of Charleston at Hofstra. I kind of lean Hofstra in this one. I like what they're doing offensively. They're scoring at will. They can do inside, outside. Shoot free throws very well at 77%. They cannot defend the 3 ball well, which is a bit scary. It's 36% they're allowing, and they're allowing 36.6% of opponents' points come from 3-point land, and that's where Charleston thrives big time. They're getting 37.6% of their points from 3-point land. They can shoot the free throw well, but they don't look to go inside whatsoever. So I think. Well, actually, I'm going to Benedict myself here. Give me Charleston on the road. Charleston can rebound, and Hofstra, they don't rebound. 23% of their offensive possessions throughout the game, they get a rebound. That's 326 in the country, and they're allowing 33% to the opposing teams on the defensive glass. Their free throws attempted, field goals made is also horrible, 22%, which is 355th in the country. So they're not getting to the free throw line as much. Charleston doesn't foul terribly. It's only about 30%, which is 125th in the country. So if they can not make just dumb fouls the entire game, get in foul trouble, I think they should have a good chance here with Ben Burnham. He's been solid for them lately. 19, 16, 15, 20 in the last 4 or 5 games here. They've been rolling. St. Joseph's, they beat by 7. Coastal was a 3-point win. Citadel, they won by 15. This is on the road. The last time they hit the road was that quote unquote neutral tournament, but that was at FAU. So that was pretty much a home game. Other than that, they went to Kent State and got the job done. Beat Liberty on a neutral. And beat Coastal on the road. They did lose to Wyoming, Vermont, and Duquesne, but that was on a neutral. Also, I think this will be. It'll come down to who's ever controlling the 3-point line. I mean, if Hofstra's getting whatever they want and Charleston's not defending it or responding back whatsoever, that's gonna be a problem. But I think Hofstra's bad defense is gonna eventually hurt them in the end there. So we'll see how we're doing there. We got there's Nick.
Yeah,
What's going on, dude?
Huff's died, so I'll tough it out with you.
Oh, well, you're good. Appreciate it, dude.
So,
yeah, that's tough. Sounds like he's got an outage going on down there.
Yeah, all good happens.
All right. Well, yeah, we will.
Where you left off, yeah.
Yeah, I was just Hofstra and Charleston. I liked Hofstra, but the more I was talking it through, I think I kind of like Charleston in this one. Charleston or Hofstra, they don't defend much, and they rely on kind of shooting threes. So I think if Charleston's smart enough with Pat Kelsey that they'll at least limit them and force them to run off the 3-point line and not give them a bunch of easy foul shots at the line also.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Short spread, kind of like Charleston.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've been liking Hofstra, but something just tells me this is just play Charleston, play the more experienced team here.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go next. Penn State, Michigan State. I thought today that Indiana State might struggle a little bit just after that giant game. They did not miss a beat whatsoever. They're just an absolute wagon. So maybe that game didn't mean as much to these guys as we had thought or we hyped it up to be. So I'm looking at this game, and Penn State's just a mess. I mean, they beat Ohio State somehow, but that was at home by 3. They beat Rider, Lemoyne, lost to Georgia Tech, Maryland, Bucknell beat them at home. I mean, this is just a bad team. And now you're going to head to Michigan State, who's found the groove, is rolling, defending, rebounding, shooting threes now. Finally, they're hitting them. They're up to 34%. So, I mean, they were 28% early in the season. So they're really improving here. And they play both ends. I think they're finding the groove, and I think they probably just mollywop Penn State tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, obviously, Penn State is going to be like an okay team, but when they face those higher competitions, like you mentioned, like A&M, Butler, VCU, Maryland, and even Georgia Tech, like they didn't win a single one of those games. Beating Ohio State at home, definitely a good win for them. As I think, I was kind of down on Ohio State early in the year, and I still think they have, their struggles. I think they barely beat Rutgers today, but Ohio State's definitely good. But yeah, I don't think Penn State's going to be like a big powerhouse, like a big team that you're going to see go deep, even in the Big Ten tournament. And like you said, I think Michigan State found their groove. I think that Indiana State game, although Indiana State not a big Power 6 type of team, they're definitely one of the most skilled offensively teams in the country. Like they can put up the points, and Michigan State held them at bay, got the cover, got a good win. So yeah, I like Michigan State to lay and roll Penn State.
Yeah, I think it probably won't be too close. I mean, Penn State, they kind of thrive on forcing turnovers too. Michigan State's not going to give the ball away, and they can defend the 3. But the thing with Michigan State is they can get inside too, just as easy, and score. I mean, you got Sissoko. You got Sissoko and Cooper down low, and then Cohen Carr. He can jump from the free throw line for a lob and jump over everyone. So
he's fucking athletic as hell.
Yeah, I mean, as a Badger fan, I don't like seeing it, but he is fun as hell to watch. So I think they got more than enough weapons, even if they can't shoot the 3, that they'll find a way to get this thing done by 15 at least tomorrow. Another banger of a game, UWGB laying 3.5. This was 4.5, and then as I was sending up these banners, it dropped to 3.5 at Detroit Mercy. So I like Green Bay. I think asking them to lay points is a little much, but this is Detroit at the end of the day. This team has now won or covered once this year. They just lost to Fort Wayne by 35 points, 34 something, and IUPUI whooped them up by 12 points. I mean, granted, all those were on the road, but even at home, Ball State beat them by 3. Oakland beat them by 15. Eastern Michigan beat them by 6. They've been a little bit more competitive at home, but I don't know about Green Bay. Green Bay's kind of found their role a little bit here. They beat Illinois, Chicago, UIC. They beat them by 2 on the road. Got mollywopped by Oklahoma, but that's whatever. Wright State, they beat by 11 at home. Robert Morris, they beat 17 at home. They beat Milwaukee this year, St. Thomas. Like, they've got some good wins for UWGB. Like, they're racking them up pretty quick. Sundance has got these boys playing really good. I think tomorrow, another same situation. I get its conference play. It's on the road. Detroit hasn't been home since December 6th, but who the hell is going to be there for this game anyway? This team sucks. I think I'm going to ride the Green Bay momentum, take 3.5 on the road. Absolutely disgusting to do, but you factor in the circumstances this year. Green Bay's a solid team. Detroit is hot shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's more of like, I'm not super thinking that Green Bay is like a team that you need to be worried about, even in Horizon League, like conference play. They are what they are. Like you said, I think for them, they're having a really good season, like beating Wright State, beating Robert Morris, Illinois, Chicago, St. Thomas. Like, these are good wins for them. Even though they played up like Oklahoma and got mopped, and Iowa State as well, it's like, well, that's kind of what you expect for this team. I don't even care about those games because those teams beat up, the big dogs as well. But like you said, I'm not going to put money on Detroit. Like, they have to do something for me to be like, all right, you deserve getting, some of my action. But until they do that, there's no way I would put any money on them, like, no matter what the number is, unless it was like astronomical, like even 14.5 with IPFW, like you mentioned last week. Like, I was a little hesitant because that number is so big and it's a conference game. And then IPFW, like, they kept it close. They were in there for like the first half, and then IPFW at the end of the game just pulled away and won by 30. So yeah, I have no faith in Detroit. Home, road, neutral, doesn't matter. So I would lay with Green Bay as well.
Same. Yeah, I'm kind of upset. I psyched myself out with that IPFW line. I didn't play it, but when they were up 30, I was like, son of a bitch. Like, obviously this is what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, they hung in tough in the first half. Green Bay, first half against Robert Morris was a little rough in that second, and Wright State, but that second half they came alive and kind of did their thing. If you really felt the need to play Detroit Mercy, just because you think they're due, first half, Green Bay shown that they start slow. Detroit kind of hangs around, and then they just get the doors blown off of them. So then you could probably get a better number with Green Bay live if that were the case, but I'm not even going to dick around with that. I'm going to take Green Bay full game. And, if I need to buy some live, I will. But there's no way. I don't think Green Bay is losing to Detroit losing it all. I think they're going to win by 5 plus at least.
Yeah, those are two dangerous words in sports betting. Is they're due. Like, they might just be the worst. So, like, yeah. I can't back them on, like, ever. No, until they prove it. If they prove it and they get things going, prove me wrong. But until then, I'm not going to bet on you.
Yeah. I mean, when you're losing at home to Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan is beating you by 12 on the road, and IUPUI beats you by 12, I think you got a lot of serious problems here. I think they could seriously be held by less than 3 wins this year in conference play too. Like, and those wins they find will be fluky and lucky at best. Yeah, move along to something else. We got App State is at South Alabama. Over under is 138.5. This one I didn't really look into much. I just know that I had South Alabama last Saturday. They were down 22 with 11 minutes left or 13 minutes left. They came back and won the damn game in regulation. Like, they whoever they played,
ODU
could not buy a bucket at the end of that game. They were missing layups. They couldn't hit shit. South Alabama just got insanely hot and just they found a way. they grabbed every rebound. They didn't give any second chance opportunities. Good luck against doing that against this App State team. This team's legit. They can ball. They're really good at home, but on the road they do have a 12-point win over Queens. They hung with Oregon State, lost in overtime. Northern Illinois beat them by 13. Kind of a tough loss, but they did beat Auburn too at home. People forget, like, it was at home, but they still beat them. I think South Alabama at home catching points is kind of just a trap. I think this App State team is probably going to roll them. South Alabama doesn't defend inside the free throw line whatsoever. They get a ton of shots blocked. They don't force turnovers. They can hang on to the ball, but rebounding is not their specialty either. And you look at App State, they hold on to the ball. They score 57% inside the rim or inside the arc and shoot 57% also. On defense, they're 11th most in the country, but with 15.5% of possessions on the defensive end are blocks. So they're just going to be eating their lunch all game. Their free throws a little rough at 69.5%, but they defend inside, they score inside, they can grab defensive rebounds, they don't give the ball away. I think this is probably just a mollywop by App State. Tomorrow, I think South Alabama's luck was all used up going for that ODU win, and it was an impressive win, but it was lucky as shit if you watch that game.
Yeah, this South Alabama team is a team that me and Rob used to write a lot last season, but I think they're much different. And this App State team has proven that they're really good. Like you said, that win against Auburn, regardless of if it's at home or not, like you beat Auburn. And like you said, their offense is definitely clicking, especially inside the arc. South Alabama's high point on defense is their 3-point defense, but App State's not looking to shoot much from three anyway. So short spread, it's a little scary on the road, like going into South Alabama to try and cover, 3.5, 4 points. But I also lean App State. I just think they're the better team.
There we go. And yeah, 100%. And like you said, what we figured out, what we talked about, App State loves to attack at the rim and score inside. South Alabama is allowing 21.2 free throw attempts per game, which is 259th in the country. So if App State's trying to drive and score at the rim and you're going to keep fouling, you're going to lose guys and you're just going to keep giving them free points, even if they do shoot 70%. I mean, if they go 20 of 35 at the line, that's still 20 extra points that they got just from going at the rim, doing what they do best. So I think App State probably handles them pretty nicely tomorrow, personally. All right, Memphis is laying 8.5 at Tulsa. This is a little Kusa action here. Let me find this Memphis. Here we go. All right, Memphis. We know what they do. They're pretty damn good. They came off that scare against Vanderbilt, beat a good Austin Peay team by 11. But outside of Mississippi and Villanova, they've pretty much just handled business easily. The Clemson game was a little sweaty, but Clemson's a great team too. They mollywopped Virginia by 23 points. Like that was never close from the jump. So they played some pretty damn good teams. And Tulsa, they beat Missouri State by 1 point at home, but they've played Mississippi Valley, New Mexico State, and then D2 Southwestern Oklahoma in their last 4 games. So not really a murderer's row of competition. They lost by 15 to Oklahoma State too, which is, not a crazy offensively gifted team, or really crazy good defensively. They just couldn't do anything against them. I think Memphis is probably going to have a nice edge here, but 8.5 points in conference play is it's still quite a bit. If we look at last year, this was a 12-point win for Memphis on the road, I guess. And Memphis did get better, so maybe this is another smash spot, but who knows? I mean, 8.5 in conference play is a lot, but at the same time, is that telling us Memphis is just going to get what they want?
Yeah, 100%. It's a big spread to go on the road in conference play. But like you said, if they won by 12 last year, I mean, Tulsa last year, though, was also way worse than they are this year. They were 5-25 last year. I think they're much improved this year. But yeah, I mean, this Memphis team is just hard to be on the opposite side of. I mean, they're clearly a very very good team, which again, like I'll say it every time. I hate saying it. I hate Penny Hardaway. I really don't think he's a good coach, but he's like throwing smacking egg in my face because they're 11-2 with their only losses being, Villanova, Mississippi, like you said, and they have big wins over Michigan, Arkansas, A&M, Clemson, Virginia. Like they're not playing nobodies. Like they've scheduled very tough and have proven that they're very good. So this for me is looking like an over spot, whether it's Memphis team total or game total. Memphis plays 24th in possession length on offense, 18th in tempo. Tulsa, on the other hand, 64th in tempo, 55th possession length on offense. And teams are getting shots up on them quick, in 17 seconds, which is 107th in the country. So I think it's going to be a lot of possessions. And Tulsa's, their defense isn't isn't bad though. So they defend the three very well. Which, Memphis isn't looking to rip a bunch of threes, but they're definitely capable of doing so. They're shooting 33% as a team. But I think Memphis is just going to look for quick possessions, try and get inside. And if they have open threes, they're definitely going to take them. But I do kind of lean Memphis minus the 8.5. And I think their team total will be about 80 or so, 79.5 maybe, which definitely could be a play for me. I like playing these fast teams. Just team totals over. It's been paying off so far, so I'm not gonna stop what's working. So that's definitely what I'll be looking at once it's out.
Well, Cal just missed a dunk, like back iron dunk. That's brutal when you
Fuck.
down 7 points. But I actually have team totals listed for me right now on Bovada. Memphis 79.5 minus 130, Tulsa minus 120, 71.5. So
Yeah.
both their team totals are juiced over. I'm seeing 152.5 for a total now. It's actually gone up a full point. So yeah, I think people are kind of agreeing with you, and I'd have to agree with you too. I mean, even though you look at Tulsa's defensive stats and they're quoting, they're arguably elite if you look at them on the base level, but who have they played? I mean, Mississippi
Right.
Valley, New Mexico, Loyola Chicago. Their toughest opponent was Oklahoma State. They
Yep.
lost. They lost to Oral Bob, Little Rock. I mean, you can only judge so much on a Central Arkansas, Incarnate Ward, South Carolina State wins. So, I mean, they're not playing a murderer's row. This is going to be by far the toughest competition they've had all year. Yeah, I'd be looking at that team total over too. I mean, Memphis can just attack you from all angles. Maybe even a David Jones point total over. Usually he's, excuse me, he's sitting around 20.5 or so, and he's gone 19, 28, 26, 22, 29, 23, 22. Like he'll get points. So if you can get it 20.5, 21.5, it's pretty much an auto play for me. I played it about 3-4 times this year. So if it's around there, I will play it. Anything higher, not even going to touch it. I'd play Memphis at that point then.
Yep. Shout out Colby in the chat. He said 362nd in terms of strength of schedule for Tulsa. I'm assuming he's talking about. So yeah, those defensive stats, even though they're looking really good on base, if you're just looking at it at face value, they look really, really good. But like you said, when you're playing teams that are all, under 300 in KenPom, of course, your defense is going to look really good.
Yeah. Yep. So shout out Kobe. Thanks for being here, bud. Let's go to the next game here. Minnesota at Michigan. I said this when Michigan was rolling with Martelli. I was like, I'll back that team until Juwan Howard comes back. Juwan Howard come back. They've lost to Florida. Good team. They lost in double overtime, 106-101. Then they followed that up with an 11-point home loss to McNeese. So they're not doing too hot under Juwan Howard's return here. Minnesota, on the other hand, granted they've played nobody's last 4 games: FGCU, IUPUI, Ball State, Maine. FGCU just gave FAU a scare, and we've talked about IUPUI. Granted, it's the Horizon League. They're IUPUI. They're a little better than people think. They're not going to be basement dwellers. They'll probably be bottom 20 this year, would be my guess. Bottom 15. So it's just an improvement. But yeah, I like Minnesota in this one. Michigan doesn't defend the 3. They don't turn over. They don't crash the offensive glass. Minnesota is a top 50 team in the country, grabbing offensive boards. They shoot 36.5% from 3, 58% inside the arc. Free throws are a little bit rough, but they also defend to 45% inside the arc. It's top 40 team in the country. Defensively, top 101, 27% of opponents' possessions are getting second chances on. And then free throws attempted, field goals made, they're 24th in the country defensively, not sending teams to the line. So I think that's going to be huge. Dawson Garcia, he returned the last game. He had 12 points, 4 of 8 from the floor, 6 rebounds, 2 assists in 29 minutes. So he got back. He's not missing a beat there. So I think he'll be huge tomorrow. But I'm looking at Minnesota here, plus 6.5, probably on the money line too. I'm not buying this Michigan team under Juwan Howard. They're kind of fugazi in my opinion. And Memphis went to 8, just a side note.
Love it. If that number's going to come down. Oh, fuck. Went the other way. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. I think it's a tad too high for a Michigan team that's been struggling. And just looking at Minnesota, obviously their stats, again, they've played some tough games against Ohio State, San Fran, and Missouri. So they're not getting like boosted stats. Of course, our last couple of games have been versus, nobody's, but I think, like you said, Michigan's kind of been faltering here and there, and I don't know if I trust them enough to lay almost 7 points with them. I think Minnesota's proven that they can definitely hang. So yeah, I lean Minnesota in the 6.5 as well. And then Colby's asking thoughts on the over under or the under 151.5 in Michigan, Minnesota. I kind of would lean with the over in this spot. I think we could potentially get some late fouling as the game might be close. Not that the teams play super up tempo on either side of the ball. So it's not like I'm worried about it just being like a, up and down type game. But it's conference play too. So it could just be a slow, feel each other out type of, first 10 minutes of the game where there's not much scoring. But if I had to like gun to my head, I would probably take the over. But I don't like hate the under either. I'm also like not an unders better. So I'm shit at unders.
No, word. I'm actually with you on this one. I tend to lean. I'm more of an under better than an over better. Need far too much to go right. Other than team totals, I like team total overs, but I regardless. But I'm with you. I lean this one over. They gave up 87 to McNeese at home. Florida, granted, double OT 106. Eastern Michigan 66. Iowa 80. Indiana 78, Oregon 86. Like they're giving up points. And I don't think that Minnesota is going to keep them down. I mean, this is conference play. They know each other. I could see this probably being like, Minnesota gets to about mid to upper 70s, and Michigan's kind of right there too, and fending for an overtime game. So I think the over is probably a good look. But I wouldn't want to back an under with this Michigan defense. They're allowing teams to shoot 16 and a half seconds. That's top 50 in the country. So they're just giving open shots all the time. And they're not forcing turnovers. So teams are going to get their, Minnesota's going to get their offensive possessions and not have anything, any turnovers for the most part, be screwing them there. So I lean the over with you, and Minnesota plus some points of money line. Kobe Michigan says Michigan will need to play D. Each has a similar pace of play, which leads me to believe it will be slower than expected. Fair. I can't argue that. It is Big Ten play at the end of the day. And we know that it can become a grind you out, just slugfest. So, I mean, I don't hate that. I personally would rather play Minnesota with the points and the money line than I would a total on this game, just because I could see it going both ways. Next, Oregon at Washington. Washington's laying 4.5. The total is 153. This one, there we go. Oregon's coming off of the USC and UCLA wins, which is, that's, good for them, but those are both at home. Their first road game of the year was Florida A&M for whatever reason. They went down and played FAMU at FAMU. They won by 13. So, you probably would have expected a bigger win than that. And they probably had their big men too. But this one, I think Washington's going to have a good day here. They just came off of Colorado and Utah games. They hung in both, lost by 4 at Colorado, lost by 5 at Utah. Now you're coming home, getting a Oregon team that's feeling fat and happy because it beat USC and UCLA, which we know are not tremendously good teams. As I'm sweating out this Cal plus 8, they're down 7 right now, 40 seconds left. But I still think Washington's gonna find a way to get it done. Their defense is solid. They've got some tall William Breitenbeck down low. Braxton Maya is 7'1". Kepnang is 6'11". So they have size down low in Oregon. That's what they're missing right now. Kwame Evans is their tallest player, and DOR at 6'10". But other than that, 6'9", 6'7". They don't have much height. So I think Washington's going to have the advantage down low to keep them off the glass for the most part. They defend the 3, shoot well inside. And Oregon struggles at the line. So I think Washington just gets this game done after those 2 brutal games like Colorado and Utah. I think they will come home and see a chance to just beat this Oregon team that's kind of been middle of the pack so far, getting some decent on-paper wins.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope Kepnang is back for this game. I know he didn't play against Utah. I don't know if he played. Let me see. I don't know if he played in that Colorado game either. He didn't. So he's been out with his knee injury. So hopefully he's back. I don't actually know. It's like almost impossible to try and get updates on this type of shit until it's like 5 minutes before tip. But I'm with you. Like Washington is definitely like, although they lost a game at Colorado and Utah. I mean, they lost to Colorado by 4 and Utah by 5 on the road against a very, very good Colorado team and a Utah team that is also pretty good. So I like losing by, a couple possessions to two teams on the road in conference play that are both very, very good is not something that makes me not want to back them. I think coming home against an Oregon team that's, like you said, has been dealing with some injuries and, they beat USC and the UCLA. I think those two teams are a bit still potentially overvalued. Like I think UCLA just isn't that good. And USC, I mean, I think we both kind of have the same opinion on them that they're just, again, like an overhyped team. I think they're fine. Like they're nothing, they're not bad, but they're nothing special. Like, how maybe preseason, projections had them as being, higher up than they are. So although they're good wins and conference wins that are super important, don't know if I put too much stock into them, especially with them being both at home now going on the road to play a Washington team that's looking for a win after some close losses. And they need this win. This is going to be an important game for them. So I like laying the points with Washington, only 3.5. It's a spot that I like. Like you said, their offense is awesome. They play up tempo. So it's another team that I keep my eyes on. I always like to watch the fast teams just looking for over potential, like over spots. So yeah, I like laying the 3.5 with Washington at home. 153.5 total, potential play. I don't know. I mean, Oregon can definitely score when they play these teams like up tempo, like obviously UCLA, they're going to play you slow. So they only put up 64 against them, but had 82 against USC, 84 against Kent State, 86 against Michigan. Granted, it was overtime, 91 against Alabama.
Don't foul. Oh, dude. Oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, my God.
But yeah, Oregon's willing to play up tempo with Washington, so I lean Washington in the over for sure.
Bruh, Cal just down 6, 2 seconds left. They fucking airball and foul. Son of a bitch. You're gonna push my shit. My bet. You're gonna push my bet. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. The Washington, just the pure angle of them coming off those 2 games, and now you're coming home. I'm getting a vulnerable Oregon team, you could say, missing their 2 big men down low. So. Shit, don't you dare make this free throw. Bronny, don't do this, Bronny. Come on, Brick. Anyway, next game. It would
be him to fuck your bet up.
Dude, it would be, of course. He's going career night, 9 points. Brick. Fuck. Damn.
Well, what did you have? What number did you have?
I had 8.
Oh.
Should have grabbed it last night at 9.5. Son of a
better than a loss, I guess.
Yeah, but damn, that was brutal. Anyway,
Tulane fucked me tonight with that shit. They missed a wide open 3 and a fucking layup at the end. I needed 2 points to cover the total.
Yeah. The layups are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it was contested. It was good defense, but it's fucking layup at the end of the day.
Damn. What do we got here? USC wins by 8. Yep, unfortunately, son of a bitch. I know some people got 7.5s and 7s. In some of my group chats today. So that's absolute pain losing that way. Guess we could go to game of the day tomorrow. Colorado at Arizona. Arizona's laying 11. They're coming off of the Stanford loss. Stanford put up a hundo on them. And they looked like shit for the first 30 minutes or so. And then the last 10 minutes or so, they kind of made it a little interesting, but it wasn't ever interesting. It was Stanford had control of this game from the jump. And now they're coming home to face Colorado and KJ Simpson with De Silva and Lampkin. I don't think Arizona's defense is – what's that?
Is De Silva going to play?
I believe so.
I don't think he's played the last 2 either.
No, he hasn't, but I swore I saw –
No, yeah, you could be right. I genuinely – I was asking. I have no idea. I hope he is.
So I thought I saw something that he was.
I would imagine – like this would be the game you need him for.
Yeah, you need him for. I mean, conference plays is Arizona for Christ's sake. So I'd imagine he's going to play. I think he is, but if he's not, they could change it. But Arizona's defense has kind of been suspect. Granted, it's Purdue. He gave up 92. Alabama put up 74 after missing. They only made 6 threes the whole game. And they shot 30 of them, so they still allowed 74 points. FAU put up 95 in double OT, which Arizona had a 16-point lead. They blew in that game. Cal still put up 81, Stanford 100. I think they can give up points yet. And let me look if any team totals are up. I think team totals are up for me right now. Let's see. Colorado's is 75.5. That's going to be my play here. Give me the over on that.
So what's Arizona? 80.
Oh yeah, my bad. Arizona is 86.5.
86.
Yeah, it's juiced under right now. But I still think Colorado's going to get what they want, or not what they want, but be able to score. Both teams like to play fast paced. Arizona only allowing 17 seconds on defense, so that's 84th in the country. So we're going to see some pace here, especially at home. Colorado put up 74 on Washington State, 73 on Washington, but they've put up 98, 90, 90, 91. 83, 85. Like they can score points. Like this is a team that can, and I think with the pace that this game is going to be, they're going to get some points. KJ Simpson's probably going to have himself a damn game. 34, 21, 23, 21, 20, 15, 30. The guy he's a walking bucket. So you give that to me with a leaky defense from Arizona. I think it's going to be a ton of points. 78% at the line, also 41% from three. Arizona's defense is allowing 34% from three. That's 222nd in the country, and they're giving up 35.5% of total points from three-point land, which is 37th in the country. And Colorado, they don't care to shoot the three, but they can definitely do it. And you have big man Eddie Lampkin inside too. Luke O'Brien's kind of a big man, and if De Silva's back, it's going to be huge, which I imagine so. So I'm going to actually take the team total for Colorado. I think Arizona probably wins, but I don't know about 11. I think Colorado can get close to 80 plus on this game, on this defense and this pace of play.
Yeah, I'm with you in leaning Colorado, and I do like their team total. The only thing I am worried about is Lampkin down low, because Arizona has those two big guys that are definitely like big bodies and very good down low, and Ballo, and I have no fucking idea what their backup name is. He's a European, I think.
Pelle Larsson. I don't know if Pelle's the
Krivas, I think, is his name.
Oh yeah, Krivas.
He comes in and gives Ballo.
Krivas.
Yeah, he comes in and gives Ballo some rest, but he's a huge body and can definitely like post up and give you some good minutes, and will grab boards and score, easy layups, dunks, and stuff like that. So it's not like Lampkin's going to be the only dominant big guy on the floor. So I think, like you said, Colorado can shoot the three, even though they might not be looking to do so. I think they're going to have to in this game. I don't think they're going to be able to rely on Lampkin as much down low as they could in these other games where there's not really a dominant big guy on the other side. Yeah, Colby said De Silva should play game time decision on the 31st, 5 days later, thinking he plays. I hope he does. I hope they're at full strength, because I'm probably going to end up being on the team total with you, or just the game total. I mean, I do kind of like the game total. It'll be a sweat. Like these I mean, these 2-3 minute scoring droughts for both teams are just really murder it, especially with a total that's high. But I still like it. I mean, Colorado's playing 74th in pace on offense. Arizona's playing I think like 4th in tempo on offense, or 8th, sorry. 4th in adjusted tempo. But like you said too, like teams get shots up quick on Arizona. Colorado's defense actually making teams work. So they might be able to slow down Arizona just a little bit, which could be the difference maker in, Arizona team total or the game total. So it's, especially if De Silva plays, I feel like that line will move up maybe like just 1.5 points or so. Like Colorado's team total could get up to 78 or something like that, and the game total could move up if he's confirmed in. So I'm with you on the Colorado team total, and if like gun to head, I would take the +11 just because I think Colorado's too good to lose by 11 points, even though it's at Arizona.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are back in the bounce back angle off the loss, but yeah, I think Colorado is going to give them a game. I mean, KJ Simpson alone can keep them in this game. So give me that Arizona. What the hell? Colorado team total. Couldn't think of the team. Next, we got, let's do this one. Oregon State is at Washington State, laying Washington State is laying 11. Oregon State coming off of that USC drumming. that would do just lost a game. I think they won by like, what was that? 17 points?
16, yeah.
15. They won by 15 points. Oh wait, this is UC. Shit, wrong Oregon, you dummy.
It's 16. They won 86-70.
16. Okay.
Yep.
Where's
You were there.
There we go. Okay, clicked on the wrong one. There we go. Yeah. Yep. So they shot lights out. If I can remember, yeah, they were 47 from 3, and they shot 67% inside the arc. So they couldn't miss at all. But Washington State is a totally different animal. You're not going to be scoring at will inside. They're only giving up 50% of your points at the 3 or inside the arc, which is 204th in the country, and then 25% are coming from 3-point land. So they're really relying. Teams are relying on the fouls and the free throws against them. Oregon State does shoot pretty damn good from the free throw line, but the rest of their game is a struggle. They turn it over 21% of offensive possessions. Washington State's not looking to force turnovers, but if you're turning it over once every 5 possessions, I mean, that's just going to, at some point, it's going to start to bite you in the ass here. And then they defend 3 inside the arc extremely well. Their defense are 11th in the country. And they played Colorado. They lost by 7 there, and they lost by 12 at Utah, both road games also. So similar to Colorado, they played them tough. The last 2 opponents pretty damn tough, and I think they're going to get this done today against Oregon State that just had one of those games against USC. They couldn't miss. They were getting whatever they wanted. So, give me Washington State in this one. I think they handle business.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, again, like Washington State is kind of like Washington's angle, where they're coming off 2 road losses against Utah and Colorado. So they're looking to come home and get a win over an Oregon State team that I think, even though they're coming off that big win against USC, I really don't put a lot of stock into this team either. Even though they were part of my game of the year winner and like their 3rd game. But yeah, I don't think this Oregon State team is very good. I think Washington State is a different animal. Like, they hung around with Colorado, only lost by 7 points. But yeah, I like the better defense, better offense inside the arc, coming home, looking for a win here. Big spread, but I would lay it. You're muted, brother.
Good catch. Yeah, I'm with you. Give me the better team here. I think better team will prevail at the end of the day. Maybe it'll be tight for a half, but give me Washington State to pull it out.
Yep.
Next game, St. Mary's laying 13 on the road at San Diego. St. Mary's is coming off of the 20-point W over Kent State at home, and they haven't left home. If you want to count the neutral, December 16th. Otherwise, December 9th, they went to Colorado State, and they won by 3 points. So they had a pretty damn good game, but they played Middle Tennessee, Northern Kentucky, Missouri State, and Kent State the last 4 games. So not a murderer's row, but 2 pretty good teams there. Now they're going to hit the road for conference play here and play San Diego, fighting Steve Lavins. This San Diego team's defending the 3-point well. They're about middle of the road, maybe at best with around defense, but St. Mary's has been kind of just a frustrating team all year. Looked pretty damn good. Had a dominant 14-point win over New Mexico. Then they shit the bed against Weber State, up 16, dropped 3 straight games, beat Davidson, dropped 2 more, and now they've just been beating teams again. Granted, the UNLV and Colorado State were 3-point wins, but otherwise they've handled business. Granted, it's inferior competition, but they've handled it. Now you're in conference play, and you're going to hit the road against San Diego. And the San Diego team, wrong year. The San Diego team is, they've been all right. Lost to Fresno State by 4. Utah State whooped them. I think St. Mary's is kind of figuring shit out here. They're going to get it done. Not in love with their free throws, which is very scary to go on the road and lay this many points, 63% from the free throw line, 29% from 3-point land. They're just relying on crashing the glass and getting shots back up at the rim. So San Diego State's going to really need their big men, Oladukin and Jamerson, to really just own the paint, not give St. Mary's a second chance. And I think they could be live in this game, to be honest. I mean, St. Mary's doesn't do a whole lot well other than just make you uncomfortable on defense. And I think laying 13 is a bit too much on the road when your team shoots 63% for free throws versus a 72% team in San Diego here. So I would lean San Diego with the points over under 132. Give me the under in this one. I think it's probably going to be disgusting, but I don't see St. Mary's winning by 13 points. It's just a lot of points to lay in a road conference game. Granted, they're not playing great competition, but still a lot of points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think it's too many points for St. Mary's to cover. I know it's a stupid fucking analysis, but this team plays so slow on offense. There's going to slow San Diego down on defense. There's not going to be a ton of points scored in this game. So when I'm catching, 4, almost 5 possessions in a game that I think is just going to be like a mid 60s battle, I'll take the 13.5 with San Diego. I think they're decent on defense, obviously not the best, but not the worst. I think they're good enough to just hold St. Mary's to, not putting up mid 70s on them. So I think if they can hold, St. Mary's to high 60s, like I don't see how San Diego doesn't stay within 13.5. So I'm with you.
Muted. There we go.
Oh, good. Colby.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was just going back to Colby's comment. He just wanted to talk Colorado, Arizona. I think the last Arizona 7-3 ATS last 10. I'm assuming this is head to head. So the last 4 Arizona's won by 10, 10 points, 2 10-point wins, 16-point win for Colorado, 11-point win for Arizona. Yeah, I mean, Arizona right now is super dominant, so it's scary to go against them. But I just think Colorado is also really good. I think both of these teams will probably be 1-2 in the Pac-12 at the end of it. I think there's a couple teams that can muck it up, but just as of right now, I would put Arizona 1, and I think Colorado is 2. So if we're getting 11 points with the second best team, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm with you. Actually, when he's bringing that up, it kind of seems a little trappy, just giving you 11 points with Colorado. But at the same time, I think it's a little bit of an angle of people are expecting Arizona to bounce back. Yeah, and like he's saying, the last 10 have been all 10-point wins. I mean, Colorado was a 9.5-point dog at home. They won by 16 2 years ago. But this team, I think, with Tristan da Silva, like we saw the last two that put 74, 73, and then 98, 90, 90, 90. They scored a lot when Tristan da Silva's in, and if he was game time decision last game, he's probably going to play for this one. I mean, granted, it was an important game against Wazoo at home, but you were at home. Now you're going to be hitting the road. Or sorry, you were on the road. Were they? This damn site can't. No, they were home. Sorry, they were home against Wazoo. Now you're going to hit the road against Arizona. I think this is when you needed him more. So I think they gave him the game of rest. He'll be fine. I think they're going to put up points. I think they'll be competitive. If anything, this will be like a 8-7 point win for Arizona. It'll be tight, and then maybe late. Colorado's got a chance to strike and put this at a 1 or 2 point game. Maybe they'll miss a shot, foul, bad shots. All of a sudden, 2-point game turns into 7-8 point game. So give me the 11. I probably, if it drops down to under 10, probably wouldn't touch it just for that reason, but I'll be on the team total 75.5 for sure. And I'll probably be grabbing that tonight just so when the Da Silva news does come out, if he's I think he's going to more than likely play, that it'll probably jump up 2-3 points at least.
Yep, I'm with you.
All right, we got 2 more games, and then we'll hop into those 2 that Colby was asking about. Sure. Santa Clara is at Loyola Marymount. Loyola is laying 2.5 against the Broncos. This kind of piqued my interest here. I was looking at possibly playing Santa Clara just outright, but it is on the road, which is kind of scary. But LMU, they've been all right this year. UNLV win. Other than that, Nevada, they lost by 14. Colorado State was a 9-point game. That was also at home, but otherwise they're kind of just getting worked. They not worked, haven't beat the best competition. Sorry. Jackson State, FIU, UTEP, Central Arkansas, lost to Oakland and Stephen F. Austin. So, I mean, they're losing when they kind of step up in competition here. And Santa Clara is definitely a team that can score the ball. And, they have shown the ability to play some defense. It's not consistent defense, but they've shown the ability to. So I think on the road here, short spread, the safer bet is probably playing Loyola, but something just tells me to back Santa Clara here. I mean, Loyola 48% inside the arc. They're not forcing turnovers. Their opponent free throws are 76%, so that's kind of bad luck. But also, there's not really much home environment there to kind of distract teams. Santa Clara shooting 69% free throw, 36 from deep, 53% inside the arc. They're not hanging onto the ball though, also, which is an issue. But I still think that you just take the better team here, which is Santa Clara here, and catching points on the road. I think that's probably a safer bet, but not really sure how I feel about the game entirely.
I'm with you. I definitely think Santa Clara is a better team, and like you said, they've played a lot of good competition. And they've been close. Like at home, they lost to Utah State by 2, which is fine. Utah State's a really good team. Neutral, they beat Wazoo. On the road at San Jose, they only lost by 3, and then beat Duquesne on a neutral court as well. Beat Oregon on a neutral court. Beat Stanford on the road. Like, this Santa Clara team can definitely play ball, and they're not afraid to play away from home. Obviously, with these big wins on neutral courts or on the road. So this, it seems a little short, I guess, like catching points with the better team. Obviously, it's on the road, whatever, but I would lean Santa Clara as well. I wouldn't, I never know how to read these lines. Like, I don't know if they're trying to tell you something or whatever, but I see +1.5 with the better team. I take +1.5 with the better team. Like, I just think the Santa Clara is better. So I'm with you.
Yep. I mean, the only thing is Loyola kind of defends the 3-point well, which, that could be an issue. They're only giving up 22.5% of the team's total points from 3-point land. Santa Clara is balanced inside and out. But Loyola Marymount, 36% of their points come from 3-point land. Santa Clara is only allowing 34.5%, or is allowing 34.5%, which is 55th most in the country. So I think I think this game definitely comes down to the 3-point line. But I would just trust the better team, like I said, Santa Clara, to be able to get that done. Because, I mean, it's not like Loyola Marymount gets crazy for home environments either. Another great game here. Utah is laying 5.5 at Arizona State. The over-under is 150 in this game. I don't know about you, but I've been watching Arizona State a little bit lately. I was bet on them last Saturday or something. I don't really remember. Against Stanford, they were down like 11. They managed to come back and win that game in the last like 4 or 5 minutes. Then they beat Cal by 2 on the road. Now they're coming home to get Utah. Utah has just been rocking teams. They held BYU to 69 points. Granted, it was at Utah, but they still held BYU to 69 points. They beat them. Houston was a close game. It was a 10-point loss, but that game was tight at the end there, and they kind of just fell apart. St. John's, they lost by 11 to on the neutral following that Houston game, but they've beaten Wake Forest, a high tempo, high offense team. They've beaten St. Mary's, who tries to grind you out. BYU, who can put up 100 on anybody, which we've seen. Wazoo and Washington, they've beat handily. Washington was a 5-point win, but this will be their second true road game. First one was St. Mary's, which they won by 7. I'm not really buying in on this Arizona State team. They're gonna have a very hard time trying to score the ball tomorrow. Utah State can defend, they can shoot, they can run, they can do everything. The one thing they struggle with is free throws, 69%. But to offset that, Arizona State is going to offer you 62.5% from the free throw line, which is atrocious. So I'm going to take Utah here. 5.5 seems like a smash spot. This feels like a game where it's going to be double digits late, and it's going to be, is Arizona State going to do it again and come back after they were down 15 points? I don't see it. I don't see there's going to be a crazy environment for Arizona State at home, which is going to help them out. Give me Utah to just handle Arizona State and the Bobby Hurleys tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's scary laying points on the road in conference play, but Utah's clearly the better team. Arizona State coming off those, 2 road wins, which were big wins against Stanford and Cal. I was on them on Cal. That was a sweat fest, getting +4.5, and then they actually pulled it out outright. But I think in that St. John's game that you mentioned with Utah, I think their center was having a lot of struggles that game, so that definitely contributed to St. John's getting that 10-point dub. But like you said, like, Arizona State cannot get any offensive boards. They're not stopping teams from getting offensive boards. They cannot shoot the 3. their two interior offense isn't that good either. And they're both teams blow at free throws, but Arizona State is somehow 7% worse than Utah, who's only hitting 69%. So yeah, I mean, I just can't see um, Arizona State. Like I think Utah, like you said, I think it could be double digits, going into the final 2 minutes, and it might be a battle, at the end, get some stupid college basketball plays. But I would lay the 5.5 with Utah. I think they're definitely a very good team. Like you said, obviously being at home still, and BYU not used to their rims. But yeah, they held BYU to 69 points, which when we watch BYU at home, they're like on the fringe of putting up 90 plus every game. And that team is much more offensively skilled than Arizona State will ever be this year. So yeah, I like laying 5.5 with Utah.
Yeah, it feels like one of those numbers you got to grab because it's going to go up. The 5.5 seems absurdly low. I get that Arizona State's had some crazy comebacks to cover, but this line may be baked in a little bit of fact that Stanford beat Arizona lately too, so they're getting a little bit of extra credit for that win. I don't buy it. I think Utah is just going to absolutely roll them. It's not going to be pretty. I think it'll probably be out the gate. Probably Utah State covers the first half. I'm guessing that's 2.5, 3. It'll be 3.5 maybe. I still like that, kind of like what I did with UNCG tonight. After all those starters were announced out for Furman, I hopped on the first half and the full game. I think that'll probably not be a bad look for tomorrow either with this game. Arizona State started slow, which we've seen, and then they claw back at the end. So this may be a split unit or just throw a unit on first and second half, but I will for sure be on Utah minus 5.5. And Kobe Bovada released the game spread and the over-under for the Arizona State-Utah game. Love the under 150.5. Yeah, it's 150 right now. I lean the under too. I don't think Arizona State's going to have a lot of success at all scoring the ball here. They're going to rely on making 3-pointers and jump shots, which is not their forte. So I think it's probably going to get ugly if you can get a Arizona State team total. Let's see if it's out. All right, what do we got? Arizona State's 72.5. I definitely like the under for them too. I don't see them getting to 70 points on this defense. They put up 71 against Cal on the road, 76 on Stanford. Well, you lost 2 neutrals. You put up 59 and 46 against TCU and Northwestern. This is going to be a struggle for Arizona. This is going to be a smash spot. If they somehow cover, I will legitimately be surprised unless we have some crazy injuries announced before the game. Like you said, typical college shit. But if you need an account to follow, I'll just make a banner quick. This guy at Jordan Majewski. This guy he follows a ton of beat writers on Twitter. He retweets a lot of information before the game, so you can find it. He's generally got like shit before Rothstein ever tweets out anything. So if you can get something, this guy will probably have it. So well worth a follow for injury news related to the college basketball world. All right. And then the 2 questions are games that Kobe had asked about. Let me look at this. Shockers versus North Texas. All right. We pull this up. All right. What's the spread here? Wichita. All right. Wichita State is laying 2 points at home against North Texas. The over-under is 132.5. Juice to the under right now. So here, Wichita State comes off of the 19-point drumming to Kansas and then the 9-point loss to Kansas State. I did have them against Kansas State. I thought they could at least show up for that game. Kansas State's not an overly elite team, but they didn't cover in that one. Now you're going to get a defensive-oriented team here in North Texas. It's allowing 44.5% effective field goal. They're forcing 21% of defensive possessions to end up in a turnover. They're allowing less than 30% from 3. They're shooting 79% from the free throw line. They're not. This is a very good defensive team. And then you're going to go to watch Wichita State, 48.4% effective field goal. Their free throws attempted, their field goals attempted. Free throws to field goals attempted is bottom of the country, bottom 300. 27.5. They're shooting sub 30% from the 3, sub 69 from the free throw line. I think this will be struggle. I get it's at home, but North Texas can grind you out, and they can actually shoot the ball too. So we'll see how this goes. Wichita State doesn't force turnovers. They can hang onto the ball. North Texas forces turnovers, can't hang onto the ball. So that's going to be where this game's won and lost here is who's giving away free possessions to the other team. But when you're getting down to a close game, you're going to back the team that's shooting under 30% from three, can't shoot 70%. You're going to shoot the team that's 36.5% from three, 79% from the free throw line. Give me North Texas in this one. I think they probably handle this game pretty nicely.
Yep, I'm with you. It seems really short. I know it's on the road, but North Texas is, in my opinion, by far the better team. Like you said, their defense is, top 40 in most of these categories in terms of 3-point, 2-point defense. And like you said, if it's coming down to a 1-point game, last minute free throws, like North Texas shooting 79%, they're top 8 in the country. That's honestly where a lot of these games live or die. I mean, we all know it, betting on this shit forever, like these free throws will kill you. If they're getting fouled early and they're hitting them, that could just be the difference in scoring an extra like 15 points in the game, where Wichita State is struggling shooting sub 69%. So I'll take North Texas. You're muted again.
Of course I am. I think that was the only game Colby had asked for. I know. So I actually appreciate that, Colby, because I'm actually going to be probably firing on North Texas now. That was a game I didn't really look at.
Sorry. Huff also asked what our opinion on Michigan, Minnesota was. Yep. I think we both lean Minnesota and the over in that one. I think we just aren't trusting Michigan, who looks pretty shaky. Minnesota, playing pretty decently. And I think it'll be close, though. We'll get some free throws at the end, being like a 2-possession game either way. So, yeah, I would lean Minnesota catching 6.5 and the over 151.5. If that over moves up, though, like to 153, I would just completely not play it, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, I'm same with that over. It's kind of in the spot where I'm kind of like, I can see it going both ways here. So I really don't like that, but I really like Minnesota catching the points here. 6.5 for Michigan to lay is a ton of points. This team has lost since Juwan Howard came back. I liked him with Martelli. He had him playing and they were playing tough, but Juwan Howard comes back, hits his fucking strength and conditioning coach, drops 2 games. It's a total mess under Juwan Howard in Michigan. And I hope it stays forever because it's entertaining as hell to watch as a Badger fan, but they're not a good team under Howard. I don't think he's that great of a coach. Had that E8 run. He thrived off of Beeline's team. Still had those guys, and now he's had time to get his squad in there and everything else, and it hasn't really panned out too terribly well. So I would lean probably going to play Minnesota with the points and probably money line too. But yeah, that's it. Quick ran through that. Nick, thanks for popping on, even though you're sick. Hope you get better soon. Get everyone back together. Yeah. Technical difficulties for Huff, but shit happens.
Shit happens. All good.
All right. Well, thanks guys. Good luck tomorrow, and we will. If we have plays tonight, we'll have them tweeted out, and I will have mine tweeted out at least. I know I'll be on something. So, appreciate everyone tuning in.
We got day basketball tomorrow too. It's a couple midday games.
3:00 games.
There's 11 a.m.
Oh shit! I'm seeing 10 a.m. Okay, these did not pop up for me at my offshore. All right. Well, I guess gross, anything that piques your interest, just quick run through. If anything's caught your eye for a day game there.
Fuck. I do kind of like Sacred Heart. 8.5 is so big though. I wish it would.
Yes.
To like, I know it's asking a lot for it to drop 1.5, but if it fell to like 7.5, I'd be more inclined to play it. And the other one, I also lean Stephen F. Austin laying 8.5. I look at it. Stephen F. Austin team total. Let me pull them up really quick. I'll blast through it.
I got it right here. See if I can find it. Stephen F. totals 80.5, and then Rio Grande Valley is 71.5. Stephen F. is juiced over -125 at 80.5, so it'll pop up 81.5 here at some point.
Yeah, that makes me kind of not want to play. Maybe just a game over at 151.5, just because both teams play. Stephen F. Austin's 99th in possession length on offense, 21st in defense, so teams are getting up shots really quick against them. So they're 32nd in tempo. Grand Valley is 65th on offense and pace, 20th on defense and pace, 23rd in adjusted tempo. And even though Rio Grande Valley's offense is like really shit. That's kind of why I lean Stephen F. Austin's team total, because Rio Grande Valley, although Stephen F. Austin's defense isn't legit, minus their interior defense is really good. Like Grand Valley might not be able to put up that many points just because they struggle. It's not really a play on like Stephen F. Austin's defense. It's more Grand Valley's offense being really shit.
Yeah.
But they're still capable of putting up, if they get a 70, like I could see Stephen F. Austin having, mid 80s. So 81.5 is a little bit scary, but maybe just a game total of 81.5. But I do definitely lean 8.5 with Stephen F. Austin on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you. The only thing that kind of scares me is that Rio Grande Valley, they force turnovers. 20% of defensive possessions result in a turnover. And Stephen F. Austin, 359th on the offensive, hanging on to the ball at 24.3%. So if they're just giving away the ball, lollygagging it, doesn't matter how bad Rio Grande Valley shoots, are going to get some transition points, which could keep them in the game and cover the spread. But I still think Stephen F. Austin's a far better team. Grand Valley is going to have one advantage, and that's that. So they're going to be relying on Stephen F. playing lazy ball. And I don't think Kyle Keller is going to have this team playing ugly basketball. I mean, it is conference play at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who it still is. So I think, I don't think Rio Grande Valley is going to force 15, 16 turnovers tomorrow and keep themselves in this game. I think it'll probably bounce between like a 6, 8, 10-point game, and then late it'll Stephen F. will pull away here. Their free throws are only 69%, but it doesn't matter. Rio Grande Valley can't shoot whatsoever minus the free throw line. So just keep them off the free throw line and don't be lollygagging with the ball, and they should handle the spread pretty easily. I'm with you.
Yep, I'm liking it. Stephen F. Austin also loves to foul, I think.
Do they?
If I'm reading that correctly. Am I reading that stat right? The point distribution, they're second.
Free throws offensively, they get to the line the most. Second the most, and
defense.
Some of those confuse me. Let me look at
I don't know exactly how to read
shooting
that
defense, opponents' free throws attempted per game.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is it SFA?
Because I can't tell if they're the second best or the fucking second worst.
Yeah, I think they're the second worst. Yeah, Stephen F. Austin, 27.1 free throws allowed per game, 353rd in the country, according to team rankings.
Yeah, so maybe it's just a game over.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see game over and Grand Valley covering solely because they just get to the line. Like, I don't know what it is they do, but they get to the line and they shoot free throws a shit ton. So
yeah, like you said, like even though Grand Valley's offense is shit, they're turning the ball over a ton. So
Stephen F. is.
Usually Grand Valley is forcing turnovers so they could get transition buckets, in a 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 type of spot. And then if they're getting 27 free throws attempted per game, they're shooting 71%. So, I mean, that could get us an extra 15, 16 points or so. So, yeah, it might be a game over.
What was the score of this game last year? I closed my KenPom on accident.
It was 82-72 at Grand Valley, and then they played at Stephen F. Austin. It was 83-66.
Okay, and this game is in Grand Valley tomorrow too.
Yeah, so when it was at Grand Valley, it was Stephen F. Austin won 82-72, so that's 154, and then the one at Stephen F. Austin was 149.
So I think the over is probably a better bet in this game, to be honest.
Grand
Especially 12 a.m. It's probably education day. It's probably going to be a bunch of third graders in attendance too.
Brother, holy shit. There was 63 free throws attempted in this game last year.
Holy shit. In Grand Valley?
Yeah. Grand Valley shot 20 for 28, and Stephen F. Austin shot 24 of 35.
Holy shit.
All from free throws.
Damn.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Grand Valley, the last time they played at home, 39 attempts. Holy shit.
Granted,
they only hit 26, but still.
Like, Grand Valley struggled from inside from inside the arc. They only shot 40%, but 35% from three. Stephen F. Austin, 48% from inside and 35% from three as well. So, yeah, I'm just going to take the over, I think. I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
about
with
this
you.
one. That's so
I
free
don't
throw.
trust either
Holy
side to
shit.
cover, but I can see points coming in this one.
Yeah,
I mean,
holy
if
that's a lot of free
UTRV
throws.
loses by 15 points and it's a 82 to 70, or 68 games, anyone surprised? No. Total still goes over. I believe in that. Let me do the math.
If it's 82 to 70, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
by the fucking hook.
yeah. So, I mean, regardless, I still think over with the amount of free throws that Grand Valley gets. They've shown that they can get that and the turnover. So, yeah, that'll be where this game is just won and lost for the spread and the total is the turnover game, in my opinion. If Grand Valley is going to get the turnovers, it's going to go over. They're going to score and they're going to force Austin to play a little bit quicker and score also. So, yeah, probably DGen play on the over tomorrow afternoon.
Yep, all of my morning plays are always just half units because I never know what the fuck is
That's
going
smart.
on. So
That's smart. Yeah, Sacred
smart
Heart
until
too
I
at 10
fucking
a.m. that's just peak degeneracy.
it's smart until you hit him and you're pissed because you only bet half. But
Like I knew the fucking game. Why didn't I bet it?
I can't take a full unit loss at fucking 130.
No, there's nothing worse than going into the 6 a.m. slate like 0-2 or 1-1. Like son of a bitch. All right, well here we go. Let's get it back. So yeah, if I play that, I'll probably tweet it out in the morning. I'll see what the spread does. If it gets up to 10, maybe I'll take Grand Valley. If it total drops, so I'll be on that. But if it goes any higher, I don't know if I want to play 152.5 or anything. That seems a tad high.
Yeah, I just put 151.5 in, so I'll ride it.
Mine's juiced over at 152 right now.
Yeah, I got 110 actually. But yeah, I mean, if we're getting 63 free throws, I mean, fuck, even if we get 45 free throws total, like both teams can knock them down.
100%.
So,
all right, well,
live or die at the line with college kids. What could go wrong?
At 10 a.m., nothing can go wrong.
What could go wrong?
All right, well, it looks like this Fresno State team total will get under here too. Minute 45 left. They got 45. So,
what did you have?
I had 60.
How much time is left?
Minute 45.
If that goes over,
San Diego State's up 29 points.
Yeah, if that goes over, I think he might have to retire.
If it does, I will retire. This will be the last time you see him on the show.
15 points in fucking 2 minutes or whatever.
That'd be so fucking brutal. Yeah, but I mean, after I was looking at the previous scores for this series, holy shit, we get barn burners in this one. Fresno State has gone over 60 once in the last 7 or 8 games now. So, yeah, offering 60 on that was easy. But again, thanks,
one.
Nick. Yep.
Wait, last one. Colby asked, "Does JMU go down versus ULL?"
That game.
My response to this. Let me see the spread.
Yeah,
fuck, they're laying 5.5 on the road.
I thought about popping that game in here, but I was like, I have not watched much James Madison this year.
I watched him versus Texas State last week when we talked about him on Saturday, and obviously the Kent State game and the Michigan State game. Other than those, I haven't really watched them, but
I can see one advantage James Madison has already, and that's on the glass. Louisiana is allowing 38% of defensive possessions to be rebounded by the offense, and James Madison, 87th in the country at 32.5% of possessions are getting the offensive board. So that's going to be a problem for Louisiana tomorrow. Yeah, JMU can shoot, they can defend, they're blocking shots, and here's another one where they're decent at blocking, and Louisiana gets a shit ton. 12% of their possessions are blocked. That's 318th in the country. That's a lot.
Yeah, I just think JMU offensively is just too skilled.
Too much.
Could ULL keep it within? Maybe. But I'm not going to. Like I said last week, it was the same thing last week. Like Texas State, that spread was 13.5. I think it came down to 11.5 when I got it. But I know it's conference play on the road in the Sun Belt. Like anything could happen. But I don't want to get until JMU drops a game, I don't want to be on the other side of them. Like as of right now, they're just steamrolling teams. Excuse me, they haven't played like anybody recently. Like their last 5 games is ODU, Hampton, Coppin State, Morgan State, Texas State. They're all double-digit wins, like 15, 17, 30, or almost 40, 14, and then 17 against Texas State. Like it's only 5.5. I don't think I'll bet it, but I don't want to be on the opposite side of JMU yet.
No, JMU's team total is 81.5, juiced under -125 here.
Yeah, I think that's super high being on the road, and Louisiana doesn't play
Yep.
fast. I think there's just nothing in this game that I think I would want to play.
No.
The
If
total was
anything, I lean that team total over. But yeah, I have no real strong conviction in this game. And like I said, I haven't really watched much James Madison this year, so that I really don't have a solid pulse on this team whatsoever.
Yeah, I think I've only seen like one game of ULL and like I said, only 3 or 4 games of JMU, but until JMU drops a game, I'm not gonna bet against them.
No, I know they're
Unless
a
the spread
wagon.
was crazy. Like if that spread was like 11 or some shit, like of course
Yeah.
I would bet against them, but 5.5 is 2 possessions. I mean, even if they're up 4 late, like ULL is gonna have to foul them, and if they if they have empty possessions on their offensive side, then just keep fouling JMU. Like, yeah, I don't know.
And JMU is only shooting 68.5% from the free throw line, so that could come back to bite them a little bit when you're asking to lay 2 possessions on the road.
For sure. So until they drop it, I'm not going to bet against them, but I think I'll just be off that game completely.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Last year, Louisiana lost to JMU 6 on the road. And then did they play them again? No, it looks about it. So they lost by 6 on the road last year to JMU. If you use that for reference, I'm not sure how much of the team returned. Yeah, I'm guessing not much considering they're 213th with D1 experience at 1.5 years this year. So my guess is there's some guys who weren't on that team last year that are playing in this one. So lean the team total over, but no play for me in this one for the day.
Yeah, and JMU is hella experienced with this team too. Like there's, I think I just
7th in the country, 3.13 years.
An average of I hate when it comes to March, you're gonna hear that shit so much like of an experienced team.
I do think to an extent it's valuable. But if your team has never played in March or whatever, and you're saying, oh, this team's got experience, they don't have that kind of experience. Like that's a whole different amount of pressure and game.
Yeah, I think it's mostly when I say it, I think it's bullshit is when it's a team like Duke or Kentucky or Kansas who are just used to playing with 18-year-olds year in and year out, and then they go up against like a 14 seed that's coming from like the Missouri Valley or something where of course those guys aren't going to be one and done. So of course they're going to have more experience, but I guess in this situation, maybe it's, a little different because it's not too high profile teams. But when we get into March and you have, Kentucky and Kansas and these Arizona teams playing fucking, St. Peter's or whoever the fuck they're playing, like, I don't think that experience means anything, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I'm gonna guess the arena is gonna be lit for Louisiana tomorrow.
100%.
So I mean, they'll have some extra juices flowing. So I could see an over and Louisiana covering, but no real strong feel.
Like we said with Rob last week, like JMU has a target on their back. They're 13-0. Mm-hmm. Like no one's sleeping on JMU. They're going to be prepared for them, and they're going to want kids to come to the game. So I think it'll be packed. It's going to be loud.
Yep.
But again, and unless ULL is in that game, the crowd doesn't mean shit. Like if JMU's up by 12, 15 with
they could take them out right away. Be up 15-4, and all of a sudden it's just 20-6, 25-8. It could just get out of hand quick. So yeah, no real strong play, but lean the team total over for James Madison.
Yep.
All right. Well, Nick, thanks for hopping in again. Get better. We'll get the whole gang back together here soon once everyone's internet outages and whatnot are working. Looks like Huff's probably back. Back now. But appreciate you for popping in, Kobe. Everyone else that's listening.
Yeah.
And good luck tomorrow with your bets, and let's cash.
Let's do it.